Joining us now to discuss some of these questions is author of Controligarchs, Exposing Billionaires, Their Secret Deals, and the Globalist Plot to Dominate Your Life, is Seamus Bruner. Thank you so much for coming on.
Hey, it's great to be with you, Ivory. Yeah, these guys are total hypocrites. We know this about them. You're totally right to bring up Zoom. I mean, they forced us all to lock down and use Zoom. I never wanted to download Zoom or use Zoom, but because you couldn't meet in person during the pandemic, you had to get used to Zoom. So I think that's a great question. Why can't they hold the World Economic Forum meetings via Zoom?
Exactly. So since they are meeting in person, we're looking at their agenda today. You were mentioning briefly before the show that it's largely centered on AI. What are they saying?
Yeah, I mean, the World Economic Forum has said that the theme for this year is rebuilding trust. It's comical if you think about it. I mean, like everything they've done from beginning with the pandemic and Klaus Schwab's Great Reset, the lockdowns, the mandates, the vaccine passports, all of it. Digital IDs is a huge focus of the World Economic Forum. It's going to be very hard to rebuild trust, especially because the true theme of World Economic Forum this year is really it's artificial intelligence and leveraging crises for their own benefit. And so the two crises that are on the horizon, they've talked about a new disease X, that's not a disease they've discovered yet, apparently, but they promise it's coming. We need to prepare for that. Bill Gates has just the other day said while in Davos that no longer will we be getting injections. Now they've developed new methods of vaccination, these so-called vax patches, which are just kind of like a patch you put on your skin so that you can release the new mRNA therapy directly into your bloodstream in an ongoing way. He says they'll last a lot longer and be a lot more effective. That's what he says. So the crises of disease X is a lot more useful than the crises of climate change. However, they are still trying to rebrand climate change as climate crises. Every time they talk about it now, it's not climate change, it's the climate crises. They're trying to get you to give up your freedoms to travel, freedoms to drive what kind of car you want, even freedoms of what kind of stove you can own. They want to ban the gas stoves. And so rebuilding trust, I mean, that's not going to happen. But regarding the other theme, the unofficial theme of artificial intelligence, today, Kristalina Georgieva is speaking. She is the managing director of the International Monetary Fund, the IMF. Georgieva just this week made headlines when she announced that the IMF has a new report out that estimates 60% of jobs will be affected by the ongoing fully underway artificial intelligence revolution, AI, ChatGPT, all of these new tools. Maybe you're using them in your job right now to help you, be more efficient at your job. Just know you're training your replacements. That's according to the IMF, and she's speaking today. She says at least half of that 60% will be negatively impacted, i.e. lost or, displaced. So in America, she's talking about 60 million people, because 130 fully employed people in America, 60% of them are going to have their jobs lost. That's, roughly half. We're up to around 60 million Americans are going to have their jobs threatened by AI. And that's a big problem.
Yikes. That's scary stuff. I wanted to ask if Donald Trump's name is being dropped at all. I caught a little bit of some of the opening conversations at the WEF, and Fareed Zakaria was there talking about a big global threat we have is Donald Trump and if he's elected this year. Have you seen them discussing this?
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, the World Economic Forum visionary Yuval Noah Harari, those who haven't seen him, I urge you to go watch some videos on Rumble or YouTube or wherever of Yuval Noah Harari. This is the guy who calls people useless eaters, useless humans. He's the guy who says that God is a figment of your imagination, totally ridicules anyone with a religious belief. He just said that Donald Trump is a total existential threat to the globalist order, to the people in Davos. So this is like an advisor to Klaus Schwab. He's a big WEF functionary and advisor. He says Donald Trump is a total threat, could totally end their globalist schemes. So that's one guy. Jamie Dimon of JP Morgan actually had some kind words to say, or at least not totally insane words to say about Donald Trump. He says that he understands Donald Trump was right about a lot of things, China, the borders and invasions and national sovereignty. So, you know, this is one person who's not treating Donald Trump like he's like just like everybody who supports him is in a cult and that Donald Trump is this radical guy who's going to destroy everything. And JP Morgan is a pretty influential bank. Jamie Dimon is a very influential figure. So he did give Donald Trump credit. He deserves credit for that. But beyond that, yeah, pretty much everyone in Davos right now views Donald Trump as an existential threat. They're terrified of him being elected in 2024. They all talk about it, you know, and it's on the mainstream media networks. They're talking about it. They're freaking out. So it's probably a good thing.
Yeah. Well, before we went on, I heard you mention that Milei was there. Javier Milei, the new president of Argentina, the one who made headlines for wanting to do away with the central banks.
Yeah, and Millet had, you know, he kind of went scorched earth there. I mean, he says that this is all about, like, all of the World Economic Forum agendas and schemes are about putting us into a system of socialism, and they're claiming to save the planet by pushing us towards a more collectivist model, anti-national sovereignty type model. And he said, very rightly so, that that is actually the source of all of the problems in the world. All of these schemes that the World Economic Forum is dreaming up to, you know, this week and moving forward are the source of a lot of problems in the world. So it's sort of ironic, and you know, God bless Millet for going and telling the truth there. I'm sure he was invited to kind of pay some lip service to their theme, their stated theme of rebuilding trust. Kevin Roberts of the Heritage Foundation is also there. And if you read his piece in The Blaze about what he's going to be saying, it's a good thing that someone's speaking truth to the power. So I applaud both Millet and Kevin Roberts for going into the belly of the beast and telling the truth.
Wow, yeah, he's a new president. I'm sure they're trying to get him into their good old boys club, but he might not be invited back, it sounds like, if he's talking like that. Who knows? But Seamus Bruner, so great to have you on. Thank you for catching us up on the WEF this year.